Hi everyone, welcome to our chat today. Today we have a very special clown and performer for you who does a lot of humanitarian work as well. So we have a Lebanese humanitarian activist, clown and performer today. She's the first female clown to receive the Premio Clown Nel Cuore award in Italy, with qualifications in performing arts from London and social therapy from New York. She's worked in communities all over the world. She founded an organization called Clown Me in Lebanon and Mexico. And this is a group that uses the art of clowning to fight social injustice. Hello, Sabine. How are you?
Hi, I'm okay.
Welcome to our chat.
Thank you.
Sabine, tell me, what is wellness to you?
Um, well, I think wellness to me is when we're, as human beings, we're really well supported by our entourage, by our family members, and by ourselves, right? And that's what's mainly very, very important to be well in life, is to have this support system that starts with ourselves and then expands to the close family and the bigger circle and the society.
That's lovely, Sabine. One of the things that I say a lot to people is exactly what you said is, you know how you talk about supporting yourself?
Right.
That's so important. So many times in trying to support everyone around us, we forget about ourselves. So thank you for pointing that out. Now tell me, explain to me, what is clowning?
Right. So the clowning we're going to be talking about here is not, the big hair. Not that I don't have big hair, uh, but it's not the big hair. It's not the big shoes. It's not, the clown we know that we see in birthday parties. It's mostly the clown that is this status that is really close to us, close to who we are. It's everything that we have, that we like and we dislike. It's this playfulness, it's this naivete, it's
Mhm.
this transparency, and this connection with ourselves and with the others that we are going to talk about. So it's this state that is beyond what we see on the outside. It's a real us connecting with a real you.
Okay, I see. And how did you get into it? What attracted you to it?
Um, so so I had no idea about clowning. Like
Hmm.
I've known what everybody mostly knows, and I grew up, in a war zone, kind of. So we had the civil war in Lebanon. So it's not like I grew up watching a lot of theater or getting acquainted with so many different theater formats. But then I went to London to do my studies after studying theater in Lebanon. I went to study performing arts, and this is where I got introduced to the world of clowning. And I was like, wow, this is such an amazing world where I discovered, my clown. So I got to experience my clown, or how I like to say it, this state of clowning. And I had this clown that was like super paranoid, super army like, and there was this moment where I realized that I was freed from all of this because I got to experience it, to experience these things to the end, to the extreme, to the point where I was like, it's okay for people to laugh at me at these things, and it's okay. And I started laughing at these things, and I started seeing them in like small details in my life. this is amazing. This is what I want to keep doing for the rest of my life. And this is what I want to share with people because a, it gave me freedom
Mhm.
and another, uh, another way of looking at life and of dealing with things that is much simpler, uh,
Right.
and much more freeing. And I became well, if we're talking about wellness here.
S-
So, yeah,
So you're saying that this clowning has actually given you a lot as well. It's it's led you to leading a simpler life, but a well life.
exactly, exactly. And then I thought, what an amazing tool. I'm so interested in working with people, and I feel this is where I belong. I belong on the streets. I really want to be with people all the time. So, and I have this amazing tool that freed me and made me a better, like a better person in life. And I want to share this with people, and I want to introduce it to everyone.
So so you're talking about the joy and the fun of clowning, right? But you also use that to heal people. So what I find fascinating is the way you combine your healing work with, the clowning and the clown's persona. So tell us a bit about the work you do.
Um, so so I do a lot of work. So I use clowning, but I have a background in social therapy. Mostly is working with groups of people where the group. Well, I'm not the therapist. It's a non-medical approach. So let's have this on the table.
Hmm.
And it's all the idea is to work with a group of people, and this group of people becomes the therapeutic unit. So we all support each other and we help each other to become better or to become what we want to become. And so
Okay.
I mix and match clowning and social therapy when working with people. And so I have one thing where I work with groups of people, women, men, teenagers, and kids, and we do social therapy groups. We use different types of art. We use clowning as a base because we need this transparency, this openness, this playfulness in everything. And we
Hmm.
use different tools like music, storytelling, theater, mask work, social work, everything in these groups. So that's one way of my work or one. And then another way is I have a group of clowns, Clown Me In, and I work with Clowns Without Borders. And we, as clowns, we go to communities and we spread joy and laughter and we perform in different contexts from, refugee camps to people uh, going through different hardship stuff to people living in war zones, etc., etc. And so we perform and spread joy and laughter. And then we also use clowning to advocate for and to be to ask for a little bit of human rights and social justice in life. So we use it in protests. We go to protests as clowns. We do street theater performances, tackling deep political and societal issues. So it's a bit of everything in my that I do with work.
So so what you do is you tackle very, very deep issues, whether it's political, whether it's societal, whether it's cultural, in a fun way. And you combine your social therapy with your clowning so that and you help people come to their own solutions. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Tell me, in in the work that you've done, give us an example of one of the most amazing breakthroughs that you remember, because you performed all over the world with all kinds of communities. So,
So
yeah.
um so there's this you know, in Lebanon in August 2020, we had one of the biggest explosions.
Yes, I
Was
remember that.
as the fifth biggest explosion in the world, and 300,000 people lost their homes. They became displaced. Beirut was in, like, it was rubbles everywhere. And us clowns, you know, we thought this is the time where we should be on the street spreading joy and laughter. And you know, we've talked a lot among us, like, is it the right time? Is it not the right time? People are grieving,
Mm.
and going through very, we were all very sad. Uh, but then a few weeks later, we put a show together, you know, put on our costumes that are all super colorful, got our kazoos and music and you know, accordion and hula hoops and everything that's very colorful and
Mhm.
joyful. Started going to the affected areas, parading in a very gray, I would say, you know, you would walk in rubbles in a super gray area where people are very sad, very depressed, and then you have this group of clowns coming with music and joy and offering a different provocation to this on the streets, and having a different uh, uh, let's say this, like a different experience with people. And we performed a lot in this period. And there was in one performance we did in one of the affected areas, and we knew afterwards that one little girl who was like 9 or 10 years old had not
Mhm.
spoken after the explosion, like
Oh, wow.
for a month and a half. She hadn't said a word, like she stopped speaking. And then after our performance, she went back home and she told her dad everything about the performance. And so she talked.
Wow.
And for us, that was like, this is it. That's what we are here for. Because maybe we just gave this little girl a moment where she felt free. She laughed. I don't know
Mm.
what happened to her. Something magical happened and she talked. And that's what's clowning. And that's
That's amazing.
what we do. That's what we try to do, really.
So you gave her a little mirror into another world, and that healed something in her present world. Incredible.
It's also, you know, it's also just having uh, giving people a moment of joy and a moment of hope.
Mhm.
Hope really makes us stay alive. This is the only thing that keeps us alive in with whatever we're going through. And clowning is hope, is empathy, is magic, is life. Um, and it can do wonders.
Wonderful. That is a wonderful story. Now tell me, you have worked right from, like you said, from refugee camps to places of trauma, like the story you gave us, right? And you've been to places like the World Economic Forum where you met world leaders and people who literally set policies for the whole world. Tell me, what do you think does humanity need to do differently? And what can each one of us do differently to make a difference?
Um, I think what from what happened to me at the World Economic Forum, when I was invited, I was like, what am I gonna go do? How am I gonna talk to these people? And I really work in like extreme poverty,
Mhm.
and I'm always on the street. I'm always with people, and then all of a sudden, I had to go be with all these like top leaders of the world. Here's a clown, a professional. I was always joking, saying, I'm the professional clown here. They're all clowns, but we're all clowns, but I'm a professional one here. And then what I really learned from this experience is that we have to learn how to listen, how to, and listen, by listening, I mean how to understand what the other is saying, how to add to what this other is saying, and how to come up with new realities altogether and stop the prejudice. I had prejudices, right? And when I met people there, when I really listened, I discovered, I just was amazed at how much I learned and how beneficial it was. And I think we all should come to each other, listen to each other, and then see the good in each other, because there's so much good in every one of us that we have to, you know, take hold of and do something with it. Um, that's what I think we should be doing.
Magnificent. Now, tell me, is it possible for you, if you can give us some tips and tools that we can take away, that we can use in our daily lives, to do with laughter therapy, to do with social therapy, maybe some little exercise we can go away with? That would be really helpful.
Right. I'll give you we'll do a small exercise. I always feel when you're stuck, just laugh.
Mhm.
Because laughter releases so much tension, makes us, you know, relaxed. When people, you know, also laughter is contagious. So, you know, if you see someone who's like very not smiling and you smile, then the other person will smile back.
Yes,
But one of
yes.
the things I really like and that we can do whenever is something that I'll suggest to do with you, is
Okay,
exaggerate the laughter. So I'll start by
okay,
a little bit and you'll laugh a little bit more, and I'll laugh more and you'll laugh even more, and I'll do it more and you'll do it more. We'll try
okay,
where that goes. So I'll start by
okay,
everybody can join, you know, you can do it at home. Whoever is listening,
okay.
watching. Uh,
Okay, yes, please join us in this laughter
but
exercise.
are you ready?
Oh
So
God, oh yes.
I'll start very small. Ha,
Ha, ha, ha,
ha, ha, ha.
ha, ha,
Ha, ha, ha, ha.
ha, ha, ha.
Ha, 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 ha.
Ha, 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 ha,
I mean, we can keep doing this endlessly. It doesn't, we don't have to stop. But this is like a small idea. And even if you start by
Mm.
faking it, like a ha 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 ha. It's just
Yeah, and then you land up laughing. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's lovely. And you know, I see in London, I live in London, in Regent's Park, I see a group of people standing sometimes laughing. So they obviously practice laughter therapy, and I've always wondered how that works. So that's
Next time you see them, just go and be like, ha 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 ha.
that's wonderful. Thank you. And that's, I mean, you're right. You do feel a lot lighter every time you laugh. You do feel lighter. Tell me, Sabine, do you have any advice for the people?
I mean, all I can say is, you know, we can't solve the endless, you know, crazy things happening in the world, but we can spend small moments of joy. So I always tell people, find your support system, find the group that makes you laugh, find what makes you joyful, and do more of it. And always think about yourself, give time to yourself. And when in doubt, just laugh for some time and play.
Hmm.
Play is important. And then, sleep on it, wake up, and then think about it.
Wonderful, Sabine. That was such a wonderful session. Thank you for your time, Sabine. We have here Sabine Choucair, who is a humanitarian clown, and this is Anshu Bahanda from Wellness Curated. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thanks a lot.